Good morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed about the measurement of inductance. So, measurement of inductance can be measured using different bridges. Those are, first one is Maxwell's inductance bridge, second one Maxwell's inductance capacitance bridge, third one Hayes bridge, fourth one Anderson's bridge, fifth one Owen's bridge. So, by using those 5 bridges, you have studied about the measurement of inductance. In the today's class, we shall study about the measurement of capacitance. So the measurement of capacitance can be done using the different bridges here. So I am going to explain you Desauty bridge and shearing bridge. These two are the important one. And the third one, by using Wien's bridge also you can measure the capacitance. But the major importance of Wien's bridge is you can measure the frequency. You can measure the frequency. That also you will study now. In the first one, coming to the first one, that is Desauty bridge. So Desauty bridge is used to measure the capacitance, unknown capacitance. So that unknown capacitance is placed in the first arm. Here also there are 4 arms. In the first arm you will be placing the unknown capacitance. C1 is the unknown capacitance and C2 is the second standard capacitance. And R3 is the standard resistance, R4 is also the standard resistance. Now Z1 is equal to, what is Z1? Z1 is equal to 1 by j omega C1. So I1 into 1 by j omega C1 is nothing but Z1. Z2 is equal to I2 into 1 by j omega C2. Sorry, Z1 is equal to voltage I am saying about. Z1 is equal to 1 by j omega C1. And Z2 is equal to 1 by j omega C2 and Z3 is equal to R3, Z4 is equal to R4. And what is the balancing condition? As we all know that the product of opposite branch impedances is equal to product of the remaining 2 opposite branch impedances. That is Z1, Z4 is equal to Z2, Z3. Now by substituting all these in this equation, Z1 is equal to 1 by j omega C1, Z2 1 by j omega C2, Z3 is equal to R3, Z4 is equal to R4. Now substitute all these 4 impedances in the above condition. Then by equating the imaginary and real parts, you will be getting C1 is equal to R4 C2 by R3. So C1 is the unknown capacitance which you are going to measure. So it is quite, the solving of the equations is also very simple for Desauty bridge. And while drawing the phasor diagrams, as you know that the conditions which you need to remember is E1 is equal to E2, E3 is equal to E4. And E1 is nothing but, E1 plus E3 is nothing but total voltage E. So now take the current I1 as a reference vector and I1 is equal to I2. And next I1 into 1 by j omega C1. 1 by j represents 90 degrees downwards. 90 degrees downwards. This is the I1 by j omega C1 which is nothing but E1. And also this is equal to E2, that is equal to I2 by j omega C2. And this is E1 is equal to E2. Next E3 is nothing but I1 into R3. So I1 R3 will be in the same phase as I1. So I1 is in this direction. So I1 R3 will also be in the same direction. So that is nothing but E3. And I2 R4 is also equal to the same direction as I2 is equal to I4, I2 R4. So then it becomes the sum of E1 and E3 will give you the total voltage E. And also E2 plus E4 is also equal to total voltage E. So drawing the phasor diagram is also quite simple for Desauty bridge. Solving the equations and the phasor diagrams are very much simple. And next coming to the second one, that is shearing bridge. So this is the shearing bridge. In this shearing bridge, here also you will be having four arms. In the first arm you will be placing the unknown capacitance and the resistance of the unknown capacitor. So C1 is the unknown capacitance, R1 is the unknown resistance. And in the second branch C2 is the known capacitance, standard known capacitance. R3 is known resistor. C4 is variable capacitor. R4 is variable resistor. Now E1 is equal to I1 into this Z1. So what is Z1 here? Z1 is equal to small r1 plus I1 by 1 by j omega C1. Whereas for the second branch Z2 is equal to 1 by j omega C2. And Z3 is equal to R3. Z4 is equal to R4 plus the R4 parallel 1 by j omega C4. So that means R4 into 1 by j omega C4 divided by R4 plus 1 by j omega C4. That means two resistors in parallel means R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Substituting those the same formula here. Now we know that the balancing condition is nothing but Z1 Z4 is equal to Z2 Z3, where Z1 is equal to R1 plus 1 by j omega C1, Z2 is equal to 1 by j omega C2, Z3 is equal to R3, Z4 is equal to parallel combination of R4 parallel 1 by j omega C4. Now substituting all these in the above condition and equating the real part and imaginary part, you will be getting the equations. So by equating the real part, you will be getting R1 is equal to R3 C4 by C2 and C1 is equal to C2 into R4 by R3. And also by using sharing bridge, you can calculate the dissipation factor also. Dissipation factor, and by using the dissipation factor is nothing but tan delta, which is equal to omega C1 R1. So this can be, tan delta can be arrived from the phasor diagram. So first study what is the phasor diagram here. So while studying the phasor diagram, first represent the reference vector. Always consider the current as the reference vector. Here I am considering I1 as the reference vector. So I1 is in this direction. So I1 R1 will be also in the same direction. So that is nothing but I1 R1. I1 R1 plus 1 by j omega C1. 1 by j represents 90 degrees downwards, whereas j represents 90 degrees upwards. 1 by j represents 90 degrees downwards. So I1 R1 is in this direction. Then I1 by j omega C4 will be perpendicularly downwards. The sum of these two will give you the E1. That is E1 is equal to sum of I1 R1 plus I1 by j omega C4. That is nothing but E1, and E1 is nothing but equal to E3. So E3 is nothing but I2 into 1 by j omega C2. So E2 is equal to I2 by omega C2. So the I2 direction will be perpendicular to this vector. So perpendicular means this is the I2 direction. You need to draw this current here. That from this E1 is equal to E2 you got. Now you need to solve what is E3 and what is E4. E3 is purely resistive term, that is I1 R3. So that will be in direction of I1 only. So as I1 is in this direction, I1 R3 will also be in the same direction. So E3 is equal to I1 R3. Now next what is E4? E4 is equal to R4 plus 1 by j, R4 parallel 1 by j omega C4. So E4 is equal to IC by omega C4, that is equal to R4 IR R4. So this will be in this direction. The sum of E3 and E1 will give you the voltage, total voltage E. So this E is the sum of E1 and E3 and also the sum of E2 and E4. So this is about the phasor diagram. Now here E1 delta is the angle made by the capacitor. Angle made by the capacitor, that is C1. 1 by j omega C1. Sorry, here instead of 4 it is C1. So the capacitor C1 is making an angle with the voltage, that is nothing but delta. So tan delta is nothing but opposite side divided by adjacent side. So here opposite side is I1 R1 divided by I1 by omega C4. Then you will be getting tan delta is equal to omega C1 R1. So C1 is nothing this value and R1 is nothing but this value. Substituting these two values, you will be getting tan delta is equal to omega C4 R4. So this tan delta is nothing but the dissipation factor. Okay, this is about the shearing bridge. And the third one is Wien's bridge. So Wien's bridge is used for the measurement of capacitance and also used for the measurement of frequency also. So here in the Wien's bridge, the series combination of capacitance and resistance is used for measuring the capacitance, and the parallel combination of resistance and capacitance is used for measurement of frequency. Majorly Wien's bridge is important for the measurement of frequency. So when these are in series, then it is used for the measurement of capacitance. This is used for measurement of frequency. So this is Wien's series bridge and this is the Wien's parallel bridge. In the Wien's series bridge, now consider this is the Z1. Z1 is equal to R1 plus 1 by j omega C1. Z2 is equal to R2. Z3 is equal to R3 parallel 1 by j omega C3. And Z4 is equal to R4. Now substituting all these values in the balancing condition, that is Z1 Z4 is equal to Z2 Z3. Then you can get the value of the unknown capacitance C1 and unknown resistance R1. Now while coming to the Wien's parallel bridge, Z1 is nothing but this is a coupling resistor. This is nothing but coupling resistor. So this value will be, this R2 and R1 value will be same, almost same, which will be dependent on both each other. And this is the detector here. Now Z1 is equal to R1 parallel 1 by j omega C1. Z2 is equal to R2 plus 1 by j omega C2. Z3 is equal to R3. Z4 is equal to R4. Now substituting these values in the equation Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4 in the above condition, then you will be getting R4 one condition equating the real parts, you will be getting this equation, and by equating the imaginary parts you will be getting this equation. And omega is nothing but, you know that omega is angular frequency, that is 2 pi f. From this you can get the what is the value of f. F is equal to 1 by 2 pi into square root of R1 R2 C1 C2. But as you are using mechanical coupling resistors, then R1 is equal to R2 and C1 is equal to C2. So that becomes F is equal to 1 by 2 pi RC. One of the major drawback of this circuit is here it is used for the measurement of frequency, and then whenever the supply is changing, the circuit is also becomes unbalanced. So it is very difficult to balance this circuit. See, this is the major disadvantage of the Wien's bridge. But the main advantage is you can measure the frequency, and also it can be used for different circuits wherever you can measure the frequency. So the disadvantages are, it depends on the frequency and also the harmonics. Because of that, it will be difficult for the bridge to become balanced. And the advantage is, apart from the disadvantages, the advantage is this is the only bridge which can be used to measure the frequency. So that is the main advantage of this Wien's bridge. So apart from the disadvantages, by considering the advantage, this Wien's bridge is most popular. Okay, so the conditions are, so this is the frequency equation, F is equal to 1 by 2 pi RC. Okay, thank you.